Muawiyah.
By this time, the condition of the Islamic Ummah had reached an unbearable state. Corruption was rife amongst those with power, and the Bani Umayyah had wreaked havoc across the Muslim lands. When Yazid came to power, one of his first objectives was to gain the allegiance of Hussein, son of Ali, as his support would provide legitimacy to Yazid's otherwise illegitimate rule. Hussein, who had inherited the qualities of his father and grandfather before him, refused the request, and in doing so, put himself at risk of persecution from the Caliph.
Yazid was the son of Muawiyah. Muawiyah was the son of Abu Sufyan. Abu Sufyan was the greatest enemy of the Holy Prophet ﷺ.
Yazid was known to everybody as an arrogant young person that takes pleasure in anything that he likes.
So Yazid was brought up as any young man, and he didn't care much about Islam because his father couldn't care much about Islam.
A person who in no way attempted to protect the teachings of our Prophet, nor in any way did he seek to be a reflection of the Holy Book.
In one occasion, he bombarded the Kaaba and burned it, which, according to all Muslims, Kaaba is the most holiest place and the most sacred place in Islam. And this is Khalifat al-Muslimin, Yazid, who attacks and burns the Kaaba. In second incident, it was the attack on Medina, and it was called Wept al-Harra, where the soldiers of Yazid were ordered to kill thousands of people and rape the girls and the ladies there.
If you could find someone who would do an evil thing, then Yazid would do more and more.
He broke every single law of Islam openly.
News spread across the Ummah of Hussein's stance against Yazid. The people of Kufa, which was one of the weaker links in the Caliph's empire, called upon Hussein to lead them against Yazid in a bid to overthrow the Umayyad dynasty. Countless invitations were made to Hussein, who was by now on his way to Mecca to perform the Hajj pilgrimage. He decided to further investigate the situation in Kufa and to confirm their loyalty to him and his cause, so he sent Muslim, son of Aqil.
Muslim ibn Aqil was the deputy of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. He was also the cousin of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and he was sent on command of Imam Hussein alayhi salam to Kufa when Kufians had called for help. So Imam Hussein had told Muslim ibn Aqil to go to Kufa and do research on what are the issues and what is the situation in Kufa.
The first finding of Muslim Aqil was that yes, these are all loyal to Hussein, I want him to come. So he sent his report to Imam Hussein alayhi salam that everything is ready and you're welcome. So Imam Hussein moved to Kufa. Muslim Aqil used to lead the prayers in the great mosque of Kufa. When he led the Salat al-Maghrib, 30,000 people were following him.
The support for Muslim bin Aqil in Kufa had become a major threat to Yazid and his governor, Ubaydullah bin Ziyad. During the evening prayers, people were sent from the court to the governor, publicly announcing that anyone found supporting Muslim bin Aqil will be tortured and put to death.
Whatever was the case, it ended up with the finished Salat al-Maghrib. The 30,000 were reduced to 18 only. And when he finished Salat al-Isha, there was none to join him.
Finding himself outnumbered and alone, Muslim saw the reality of the situation and quickly sent word to Hussein to cease his journey to Kufa. Muslim was surrounded by the army of Ubaydullah and was taken to the court of the governor. where he was tortured and finally beheaded. He had been dead a few days, and Kufa was under the control of Yazid before Muslims' message had reached the caravan of Hussein. By this time, Hussein, who was close to approaching Kufa, had been intercepted by an army sent by Yazid, under the leadership of Hur ibn Yazid al-Riyahi. On the 3rd of Muharram, in the year 61, Hussein and his caravan of family members were confronted and made to stop at Karbala by the river Euphrates. For it was not only Hussein's companions that chose to accompany him, but also his sons, his women, and younger children, in the knowledge that they were under grave danger and probable death.
Were Hussein just to take his companions, certain people may argue that he was willing, yes, to sacrifice himself, but not sacrifice his family. Yet we find that Hussein takes alongside him his sons, takes alongside him his sister, takes alongside him his nephews, takes alongside him his brothers, to show the world that the religion of Islam comes first, and that the concept of justice comes first, and that if it means that the family must lose their lives in order that the principle of justice continues, and that the teachings of the Prophet are protected, then so be it.
If someone went there with an intention of getting material wealth or worldly gain, obviously they would never take their women and their children. It just doesn't make sense.
If it had only been the men there and they had been killed, there would have been no witnesses.
Had Imam Hussein and just men from the family gone, then there would be no one to recount the stories of Karbala in its true form.
It would be these children whose blood was shed on the day of Ashura that would speak about the unspeakable events of the day of Ashura. It would be the women, it would be Lady Zainab who would go out there and tell the world what occurred on the day of Ashura.
Hussein offered to leave the Islamic lands and head east. Hur reported the offer back to the Caliph, yet Yazid was not open to such negotiations and insisted that Hussein and his small camp were annihilated. On hearing this news, Hur had to choose between success in this world or in the hereafter.
There are many companions on the 10th of Muharram who one may look to as a source of inspiration in our lives. But one particular source of inspiration for myself is the companion Hur bin Yazid al-Riyahi.
Hur is a very good example to any human being that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives a chance to all of us to revert.
On the ninth night, when he realized that the camp of Imam Hussein is thirsty, they're hungry, yet they're not still paying allegiance to Yazid, he realized that this was happening for a reason. He just searched within his soul and heart, and he found the reason was in fact that they were on the right path.
He listened to his instinct, he listened to his soul, he listened to the good part of his soul, and which said to her that you have realized your mistake, so walk forward.
He looks one way and looks the other. And of course, he asks himself, now I am choosing between heaven and hell. And he recognizes that the place of success is with Imam al-Hussein.
When Hur was reaching the tent, Imam Hussein told Hazrat Abbas, the commander of his army, that go and receive, your brother in faith is coming to you.